Namaste. Namaste. Welcoming, right? One of the many beautiful translations of that one word, namaste, is welcome. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, Dawn. Welcoming yourself, right? Namaste. Welcoming yourself to this precious time and to this community, right? That you are part of this virtual community, and taking some time to center yourself. So welcome. We'll give it a few minutes for others to gather and collect. And give yourself some time to find a seat. Right? Being creative probably in your home base on what you're choosing to sit on. Is it providing enough support for you right now? Perhaps you might even lean into a wall. Or just grab a kitchen chair and plant your feet on the ground. Anybody showing up for the first time? I'm here in our beautiful home. Good morning, Elizabeth. I'm here in our beautiful home, Shakti. Or on the East Coast. Good morning, Christina. On the East Coast of the U.S. of A. Western New York. Good morning, Heather. Another minute or so. So yeah, namaste. Namaste is welcome. Welcome to this time to sit together. See where you're at today. It's really important that you check in with yourself. How are you feeling right now? Good morning, Judith. How are you feeling right now? It's a really important question, right? See if you might get specific. Good morning. See if you might get specific with your response. It's not really a test. You don't need to share the information with anybody else, but really check in. How are you feeling right now? Good morning, good morning. Our beautiful collective, right? Thank you guys for showing up. And as I've been saying, you're not just showing up for yourself, you're showing up for us, right? You're supporting us, right? As you come to sit and we see the names scroll up the screen and the heart bubbles pop up, it's like, yeah, we got each other. We're here for each other during this very crucial time, during this time that we could so easily just feel alone, right? So, yay. Thank you for showing up, not just for yourself, but for us, right? For us. Okay, let us tune in. And taking this time to just really address yourself, approach yourself. How are you feeling right now? And be honest with yourself. Try not to resist your response. Meet yourself so that we collectively can meet each other. And breathe in. And take a moment, check in again. Maybe count those blessings, count the gifts, because they are there, right? You are here, so, that's a blessing, right? You're still with us on this planet. Namaste. Good morning, Amanda and Judith and Beck. Yesterday, my day off, if the weather's nice, I like to do long bike rides. It's kind of my way of escaping. I give myself that little gift once a week to just escape for a little bit. I was out in, I guess what I would call the country. I'm such a city girl. It's really probably just the suburbs, but I consider it to be country. Just out on a really nice bike path, and just kind of riding and riding and riding and riding, and braced by the trees, kind of sandwiched on both sides by beautiful trees, and just a path that's been laid out, that's kind of been designated for a free ride and a long stride, right? It's just kind of exhilarating and refreshing and oh so liberating. So as I was riding, all of a sudden, I guess the path, the designated bike path must have ended, because I found myself on a busy kind of country street. Like cars were just zipping, country road, cars were just zipping by, and there really wasn't any space for a bike, and potholes and rocks, and it went from being so incredibly refreshing, so incredibly pleasant, right? So incredibly pleasant to not pleasant. And my first reaction was, what happened? Like, how did this happen? How did I get here? And the second reaction was, I don't like here. I don't want to be here. I didn't like riding amongst a lot of traffic and feeling very vulnerable and somewhat in a dangerous, precarious position. First response is, how did I get here? And second response is, I don't like it and I don't want to be here. And, metaphorically, I think we can all relate, right? How did we get here, right? None of us like this, right? None of us like this experience that we're in right now, right? We're all, because we come to these sits and because you're conscientious human beings, we're all doing the best we can in a state of crisis, in a state of turmoil. But I'm sure that question has popped up, like, what the F, right? What the F? And I was having a nice conversation with a dear friend that I know from the Omega Institute. We see each other every year and chant together for 4 days. And, she's pretty steeped in the practice. She's a single parent of 4, and she still finds her daily time to connect and listen to herself and be mindful, etc. Have a meditative practice. Anyway, I was having a conversation with her, and she said sometimes I'm relaxed and I'm okay with this, and sometimes I'm not relaxed and I'm not handling it well at all. And the conversation went on, and the word sometimes came up, in expression of these kind of opposite states. Sometimes we're okay and sometimes we don't feel like we're okay, right? Sometimes things are really pleasant and sometimes they're not, right? Sometimes we're carefree and loose and open, and then other times we have to be very kind of on guard, very vigilant. And this is the path of life. That is the path of life. As it appeared to me that I was sent off course, right? That the path that I was on, that I liked, that was providing safety and comfort and escape, that path appeared to end and kind of a new path began that I didn't want to be on, right? Yet really it's the same path, right? I didn't make any turns, right? I just kept following the line, right? The line of the road. So I think what I'm getting to is us being able to live in the paradox, right? Which ain't easy, right? To kind of, flip-flop. Sometimes we feel okay, and sometimes we don't feel like we're handling it well at all. Sometimes we're in a state of calm, and sometimes we are not, right? And I think that that's really important for us to check in with on a daily basis, that is extremely natural. That life is a paradox, right? That life is a paradox. And as we step onto the road of it, and as we just kind of get led, we just follow along the line of the road, the course, the track, the path, right? Sometimes it's going to be really pleasant, as I was saying, sometimes not so. But our job isn't to just how to find the way back on a pleasant, right? Our job is to embrace and to be able to call upon some trust, some guidance, some assistance when we feel like we're on a really bumpy road, right? And then we find our way back. We find our way back with grace, right? Rather than, as soon as we get onto the bumpy road, it's like, oh no, I'm out of here, right? Learning how to embrace the paradox, right? Learning how to accept that life is full of both sweetness and bitterness, that at times we will feel safe and at times we will feel not safe, right? So, the theme of that conversation that I had with this dear friend is within that word sometimes, right? And we shouldn't expect it to be always, right? Always easy, right? Always clear, always steady. Sometimes it's clear, steady, and easy, and sometimes it's not. Let's breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Again. One more time. So these deep breaths give us a chance to kind of reset, right? And then move around a little bit as you find your way into your seat. And as you move around, just kind of acknowledge, both sides, if you will. And as you take your seat, and as you use this time to get more in touch with how you feel, notice it's rarely going to be just one thing, right? It's going to be a bit of a mixture, that we're going to kind of, oscillate and flow between feeling afraid and feeling at ease, and they're both kind of in there ping-ponging through the inner self, right? And our job is to, as we sit with each other, is to really hold space and kind of embrace ourselves, but also embrace life as we know it, that really is a paradox, right? And be able to live freely as possible anyway, accepting the sometimes, right? The sometimes we feel this, sometimes we feel that. So as you go inward, try not to look for the be-all, the end-all, the absolute. Like if you get in there and it's difficult, don't make up your mind that it's going to stay difficult, right? It's going to shift eventually, because that's what life does. It is a shift. Take a moment to drop heavily down through the base of your tail and the flesh of your hips. See if you might release through the inner hips and feel the tops of your thighs getting heavy. Really let the lower half drop. Let it settle into this moment, the here and the now. And then just a light lift through the waist. Some broadening across the collar. And maybe we can ease up on the shoulders a little. Maybe we can feel the back of the neck softening and elongating. Maybe we can feel the face softening, easing up. If it's comfortable for you, shift the focus to the space just above the bridge of your nose. And if that feels unfamiliar or a bit daunting right now, just forget about it, right? Just bring your attention into your heart or your belly. Wherever you can rest your inner gaze is going to be just fine. Maybe you can release your jaw a little bit, soften your throat a little bit. Let's really be with yourself and start to embrace the wholeness of all those complex feelings and thoughts that you are probably having right now, right? Now, we're so prone to having them on any average day, right? So, compassion for yourself as you notice all of the complex emotions that might be going through you right now, all of the thoughts during this great time of crisis, and how natural that is. And that sometimes we feel just so grateful to be alive and be connected, and then other times we feel so afraid or so angry that this is occurring, right? To just really let yourself be with the sometimes. Let's bring our attention into our breath, that thing that supports us 24/7. And soften the belly in such a way that maybe you can breathe with just a little more ease. Maybe you don't have to force it, you can just pay attention to it. And maybe you notice every time you breathe in, that lower belly puffs out a little bit. And every time you breathe out, the belly goes in a little. Maybe you notice the sides of your ribs expanding a little bit every time you inhale. And maybe you notice them hugging you close every time you exhale. And maybe we can bring our attention into our spine and watch the breath slide up the elevator shaft of the vertebrae, watching the breath as it slides down. And keep softening so you can make this experience very approachable. Make yourself approachable to the breath and to the focus. And maybe you start to notice some ease coming through, right? Maybe we can embrace that sometimes, right? Sometimes things feel easy. And sometimes not so much. And we can't really answer all these questions like, how did this happen? Right? What am I doing here? How did this happen? Right? We can just embrace the self while we're having those experiences. And let's prepare for our daily lung strengthening exercise. Reminding yourself that as you breathe slowly, it's like medicine, like a tonic on the nervous system. So we're going to attempt to breathe slowly at a 5 count, but we're not going to be too rigid about it. So if 5 isn't working for you today, adjust it to a 4 count or a 3 count. Empty the breath from the underbelly. And breathe in. Retain. Breathe out. Retain. 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 Release the lock of your underbelly, letting your breath go, letting your breath flow. Maybe move the body nice and easy, loosening through the midsection. Sitting in observance of this breath as it moves through you, potentially with more ease and more freedom than when you began. Right? Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's not. If it's still difficult, try not to fight that experience, just go with it. Understanding that in time it will let up, right? We live in the paradox. Open the eyes and flow the arms up as we breathe in. And take them down as we breathe out. Flow them up as we breathe in. Descend them as we breathe out. Again, breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. Breathing out. And take them up as we inhale. Descend your hands toward the center of your heart as you exhale. So this beautiful gesture with your hands at your heart, this gesture of gratitude, this graciousness, honoring that you chose to sit with yourself and for yourself, but also with each other and for each other, as we all attempt to embrace the sometimes and be able to live in the paradox, coming to a great understanding that as much as we would like it to be a nice, easy, pleasant ride 24/7, there will be bumps in the road inevitably. Right? Sometimes it will be easy and sometimes it won't. And breathe in. Namaste. So thank you once again for choosing to spend this precious time together, this community of support, right? We support each other through these tough times. We hold each other up, if you will, right? So I'm here every day, Monday through Saturday at noon, and then after this we head over to Zoom for physical asana practice. Thank you for the hearts again and the thumbs up. I love you all. Anybody care to share how you're feeling? If you feel like, being a bit public today, please jot some notes down. If you have questions or things that I can potentially assist you with, send me messages and I will do the best I can to address them through this format. Okay, let's close it up. So it's important that, when we find anything moving through ourselves, when we do the work for ourselves, and we've been kind of granted perhaps a moment of peace or clarity or what have you, if you sense that there's more energy moving through you, that you send that out, right? Because you're just going to come back and sit down tomorrow or do the work on your own, and you're going to make more and you're going to send that out, right? So there's this constant recycling and regenerating of these juices that are produced together here. So with that in the mind, with that in the body, and with that in the spirit, may you be safe. May you be healthy. May you be happy. May you live with an easy heart. Namaste.